All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah HaKadosh. Also want to give double honors to the elders, apostles of GMS that rule well and teach well for giving us 100% truth. All right, so I wanted to go into this little lesson going into, it's the heathens turn to drink of that cup. Okay, it's time for the heathen to for the curses to be lifted up on us and for it to be put on these other nations, okay, our enemies. All right. Therefore, there's no salvation for these other nations. Okay, because as I go through these precepts, you'll see that what's going to happen to these other nations is not salvation. All right. Because these curses are going to get lifted up off the nation of Israel. It's going to be put on our enemies. But we're going to hit these precepts. And I'm going to start at Isaiah 51:17. It says, "Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which has drunken at the hand of Yahweh the cup of his fury." Okay, these curses. "Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling and wrung them out." Okay, so the cup of fury is these curses that were put on us. Okay, the wrath of Yahweh, right? The punishment we went through, okay, because we went off as a nation, okay? And you can get them curses in Deuteronomy because it told us, okay, if we was going to do this, okay, if we hearken to Yahweh B'Shem Shai and to follow these laws, statutes, commandments, we'll get the blessings, we'll rule over the nations, and then it'll tell you, okay, what happened if we didn't, okay? So, I'm gonna jump to 19. "These two things are coming to thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction, and the famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? Thy sons have faded. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in the net. They are full of fury of Yahweh, the rebuke of thy power. Therefore hear now this thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus says Yahweh the Lord, and thy power that pleaded the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again." Okay, because we're coming up the time to where these curses are going to be lifted up off us. Okay, we're no more going to drink of that again, because once these pursuant to the new covenant, when we get these laws, the laws put in our inward parts, we're not going to go off. Okay, we're not going to even have a wicked thought. Okay. Verse 23, "But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee." Okay, and the hand of them that afflict thee started mainly with Esau and these other nations. Okay, because they all had their hand in spoiling the Israelites. Okay, it says, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. Okay, so now let's get Jeremiah 49:12. "For thus says Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken." Okay, and it's talking about us Israelites. Okay, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, North American Indians, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. Okay, we had drunken of that cup of the wrath of the Heavenly Father. Okay, with these curses. Okay, because we went into idolatry. Okay, we started following the customs of the heathens. Okay, so we came strange to the Heavenly Father. All right, so we had to drink the punishment. Okay, so why we go through the things we go through. Okay, it's because of the curses. Okay, it says, "For thou says Yahweh, behold, they who was judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken. And art thou he that shall all go together go unpunished?" So we drunk of the cup. So you think so so y'all, especially y'all 2/3, okay, y'all, the niggas that think that salvation for the other nations. So you're saying that these other nations are not going to drink of that cup, but we drunk of that cup, but they're not going to but they're going to go unpunished. Okay? Here it's saying that they're not going to go unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So these other nations are surely going to drink of this cup. There's no ifs, ands, buts around it. They're going to drink of that cup. All right, let's get that in the NLT. This is Jeremiah 49:12. And this is what the Yahweh says. If the innocent must suffer, how much more must you? You will not go unpunished. You must drink this cup of judgment. Let's see what this damn say. It says, for thus says Yahweh, behold, those Israel who were not sentenced to drink the cup of the wrath shall certainly drink it. And are you to remain unpunished? You will not go be acquitted and go unpunished, but you will certainly drink from the cup of the wrath and judgment. Okay, I just wanted to see what those other translations say. So these other cups, man, we're approaching their time they're going to be drinking of this cup. These curses are going to be lifted up and put on their enemies. All right. Let's get Jeremiah 25 and 28. Shoot. This is Jeremiah 25 and 28. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at their hand to drink, then shalt thou say unto them, thus says Yahweh of hosts, ye shall certainly drink. Okay? So they are going to drink of this cup. Okay? For what they did to the nation of Israel. Okay? Because all these nations had their hands in it. Okay? They was all part of taking Israel down. Okay? Let's get this Psalms 83 and 1. Keep now thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and thy people, the Israelites, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, this is what the other nations said, they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. Okay, so these other nations, they get together, okay, and have these meetings how to cutting Israel out, okay, from being a nation, right? That the name of Israel be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Okay, so these other nations right here, and this list them, you can go through them. These other nations were all together with cutting Israel off of being a nation, okay? The reason why, we didn't know who we are. We didn't know who we was. We call each other so-called African Americans. We call us all these other names, but Israelites. Okay, because this is what they, that crafty counsel that they took. Okay, by cutting us off from being a remembrance, cutting us off from being a nation. Okay, so that's why we didn't know who we are, because we were discontinued from our heritage. Okay, and that was part of the curses going to Jeremiah 17 and 4. All right. So these nations, they all had a part of that, man. Oh, shoot. This is 1 Maccabees 2 and 10. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten her of her spoils? Okay. So what nation have not had its part against the nation of Israel? All these nations did. All right. So let's go to Obadiah 1:15. No, let's go to Lamentation, man. This is Lamentation 2:15. All that passed by clapped their hands at thee. They hissed and wagged their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of the beauty, the joy of the whole earth? All thy enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Okay? They're talking about the nation of Israel. Certain this is the day that we look for. We have found it. We have seen it. So us going down is what all these nations look for. And when we went down, they were happy. They rejoiced. Okay? So these other nations, they don't give a shit, okay, about you, Jake, out here. But y'all trying to find salvation for these other nations is not for them. Okay? And this is in the scriptures, man. You can't make this up. This is a plain. All right? This is plain. So all these nations, they're going into captivity. Let's get Jeremiah 30 and 16. This is Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all their adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. They should go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Okay, so all these nations, okay, they devoured us. Okay, they spoiled us. So now their turn to get devoured. Okay, and all thy adversaries. Okay, Psalms 83. Every one of them shall go into captivity. Let's go into the word captivity. Exile, captured, exile, surely concretely and collectively by extension, booty, captive, prisoners, taken away that was taken. Okay, so that means we're gonna have slaves in the kingdom. All right, let's get Deuteronomy 30 and 7. This is Deuteronomy 30 and 7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies. Okay? So the curse is going to be lifted up, and they're going to be put on enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee, which is all these other nations. Okay? So it's their turn to drink of that cup. Okay? Let's get Isaiah 14. This is Isaiah 14:1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall join with them, and they shall cleave into the house of Jacob. Okay? And those strangers are talking about the Israelite foreigners. Okay? And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land. Okay? And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. Okay? And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Okay? So that's why it says they shall take them captives, who captives they were. Okay? And they shall rule over oppressors. So we're going to rule over our oppressors. Okay? We're going to take them for servants and handmaids. Okay? Going to the word servants. Okay? You see slave. Okay? We're going to have slaves. We're going to have the handmaids. Okay? Maid servants. Slave girl. Okay? So these other nations are going into captivity. All right. There's no if and but. You can't get around it. Let's get Obadiah 1 and 15. Let's see. I'm gonna start at Obadiah 1 and 15. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they have not been. Okay? So they surely going to drink out this cup. Okay? They're going to drink every bit of drop of that cup. All right? So that's what the other nations got a good look for. Okay? They don't got nothing to look for but to be slaves in the kingdom. Okay? It says, Yahweh says this. Let's see. This is Second Thessalonians 1 and 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Okay? So these other nations are going down. Okay? It's their turn to drink of that wrath, and ain't no way around it. Okay? So I hope this video was edifying, and I'm gonna say shalom.